My biggest win with the journey has been that inner peace and just that fundamental knowing that I've got full purpose and a great deal more happiness.
That was amazing for me, and actually for my whole family. Allowed us to keep this open mind on life and to open to all the opportunities.
I have so much more freedom and self-connection and health and vibrancy. I just feel more alive.
The journey helped me to understand what my emotions are, not to be scared of them.
It changed my life. It cleared all blocks and brought into my consciousness what my heart's desire was.
Now I feel my life is easier. I feel stronger, feel what I feel and find a new solution.
To be free from the burden on my shoulders. I live in the moment now, and I'm open to my emotions from the highest to the lowest.
Until the journey, I didn't really know that I could get to the same depth without using any substance. It's getting easier and easier to connect to the deepest part of myself.
Probably the biggest improvement is my inner life or my inner freedom to be as myself, in myself, not being a victim of circumstances and the other people.
The journey has really been a second chance in life for me. Having permission to dive deep and find out who the real authentic me was and just to be that person has just been wonderful.
When you listen to yourself and when you really touch your soul, something magical happens.
Life is different because of the journey. I feel I have all the tools I need to face whatever life throws at me. Life has become fun.
My biggest win was healing a broken heart, and not once, many times. I would never have been able to be in the position that I am in now had it not been for the journey.
Befriending myself in really accepting who I am, that I am perfectly imperfect and I don't need fixing.
I've gained so much. So there is no one big win. If it had to be named as one thing, I would just say it's life-changing.
It's changed my world, it's changed my life, it's changed me. And it's allowed me to be open and vulnerable and completely transparent.
My biggest win as a result of using the journey would definitely be my ability to network and expand upon the goals that I've had for such a long period of time.
My biggest win since attending the Journey Intensive has been finding myself. It has been healing, transforming.
I am just so much more receptive and open to whatever God has planned for me. At the very core of me, being able to experience that peace has been priceless.
A wonderful welcome and good evening to today's discovery session, where we are, especially at this time of the year and in the holiday season, uncover how it's possible to find the peace within. You know, there are so many challenges all year round, and it feels like sometimes at this time of the year it gets even more, you know, because we're dealing with trying to get everything ready, trying to get everything done, making sure we're not leaving anyone out. So there is more that happens in December than any other time of the year. I'm pretty sure you're the same as me and all of us. My name is Gabby Burt. I'm with Brandon and the Journey and have been so for the last 27 years. I'm the international director, and it's been a true privilege to have witnessed what the changes I've seen. And thank you for watching with us some of the testimonials of what people realizing, achieving, getting out of this work. And these are just a small handful of people. There are thousands who have healed from illnesses, who have overcome problems. And so we just wanted to give you a little taste and also wait until everybody or most of the people make it into the Zoom room. I have some news today, and unfortunately, normally this session is always a live session with Brandon, and today, unfortunately, it isn't. Brandon is traveling. She started a world tour a few days ago, And maybe because travel isn't quite so often anymore, is not happening so often for us anymore, she's come down with a very, very bad flu and a cough. And she can't speak a sentence without coughing at least 5 times. So please, first of all, I'm asking you to send healing blessings her way so that she recovers pretty quickly. And we did a recording of this session a little while ago on the same theme. Now, I'm asking you to just stay with it, and there will be an experiential meditation and discovery session. And many of you have written in and sent your challenges to us. And I just want you to know that I have looked through them. And if there is anything that still needs adding to at the end of it, or if something hasn't been covered during the session, I will do that at the end. And we also wrote, or I also wrote, a very, very heartfelt letter, because in the lead up to Christmas, I want to cover a little bit of that as well, how we can use this work, or how we can use this little taste of introspection that Brandon does with us today already in the lead up to Christmas. So we can't do the whole thing, but we can definitely get a very, very good taste. And I also, like I do most times in these events, we have a free place to give away for our next Journey Intensive. And so if you stay here until the end, it could be you. So this is a random selection of one free place for the Journey Intensive that will come at the end. So whatever Brandon isn't covering by way of your challenges that you have shared with us, I'll cover that at the end. I'll talk a little bit about the festive and the holiday season, how we can use some of what we're learning here today already, and you will get the free places, or one lucky person will get a free place. And thank you very much for typing in all the hellos and where you're from. And I'm always delighted to see so many friends from Europe. Not only Europe, we had Canada here, British Columbia, with Germany, Sweden, Estonia, Netherlands, Hungary, London, Czech Republic, Germany. So thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you can kind of just open wide and allow the teaching, this introductory teaching to the journey with Brandon, to kind of find a place in your heart today. It is just a taste, and I hope that it will already pave the way forward for you to use more of this work in times to come. So let's welcome Brandon, and please join me to send healing blessings her way. The poor soul is in bed. She's really rough, and she sends all her love, all her blessings to you, and is very, very grateful to you that you are joining us here today, and that you're staying on for this discovery session. Many thanks, and I see you at the end. So let's welcome Brandon from a recent time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby, and a heartfelt welcome to everyone here. And I always love hearing from you. So many of you wrote in some of your greatest challenges and some of the emotional issues you're facing, the physical issues, and I read every one of them. And I kind of bring that into the session so that we can kind of work with the issues that are actually coming up for you in life. And so many of you spoke about this fear of rejection and abandonment, and others of you spoke about a feeling of just low self-worth, that no matter how much work you did on yourselves, that it was still coming up for you, and you couldn't find your way home to feeling a self-love and a self-acceptance. And still, there was one woman who was saying that she had metastasized cancer, breast cancer, and for 7 years she'd been working with it with alternative methods successfully, and her husband had been supporting her through this intense journey that she was on. And 5 weeks ago, unexpectedly, he died. And suddenly all of her support left, this was totally out of nowhere. He was the one that died. And so she's just swirling in the emotions that are here. And even though she has supportive family, is how do you cope with that kind of painful, unexpected tragedy in such a circumstance where you're already coping with cancer? Another woman with rectal cancer was saying that, she's done a lot of work with herself, and she's actually quite good at forgiving other people, but she still can't get to the root of what the emotional issues are. And she feels some sadness, some hurt, but she's not really fully completing. And so tonight's session is really about what Gabby said, is how even your most painful emotions can lead you to deep peace and healing in your life. And one of the things that science has found, that when we feel a strong emotion and we repress it, it releases into your bloodstream a quantifiable biochemistry, which will go to certain cell receptors and block them, rendering those cells incapable of communicating with the rest of the cells in the body. And if over time illness happens, well, of course it happens, where the cells are blocked. What's conversely also known to be true is that when we feel our emotions very naturally and freely, like a child does, our cell receptors remain open. And so the unfortunate thing is that most of us have fear of feeling our painful emotions. We've gotten very skilled at, feel a strong emotion, come up, smoke it away, drink it away, take substances to get away from it, call a friend, get on Netflix, surf the web. And we're distracting ourselves. We're sweeping it under the carpet. We're reframing ourselves, saying it's not that big a deal. I'll think positively. And whenever we do that, when a strong and painful emotion comes, when we deny it, when we shut it down, when we sweep it under the carpet, distract ourselves from it, what happens is, at that moment, when we shut it down, that biochemistry is released. And it goes to specific cellular locations. And before the next cell generation, when that cell generation dies, it actually passes on that programming, that consciousness, the pain you went through, all the words you didn't express, all of that programming gets passed on to the next cell generation. And so the next cell generation is born as an exact replica of the previous cell generation. And so this whole pattern of buried pain, where we didn't have the coping skills, none of us were given a manual. How do you deal with something like your husband dying 5 weeks ago when you're in the midst of struggling with metastasized cancer? How do you deal with that? No one gave us a manual. And the natural tendency is just to shut down. And so these patterns, these old cell memories, this buried pain gets passed on from one cell generation to the next. And very often, then later on in life, it can end up showing up as illness. As a matter of fact, there's 3 hospitals in Israel where they have recovery programs. In one hospital, they specialize in heart disease. And after you've undergone your heart treatment, you'll go into a recovery center for a week long, and you will go through the journey process where you'll literally go on a journey inside your body to get to certain cellular locations, to get access to these buried cell memories, to go through a deep process of release and letting go and forgiveness, so that when new cells are born, they're born devoid of that old programming as new regenerative cells. And the journey is a method that takes you on a journey inside your body to get to those cell memories that are stored inside, to clear them out at a physical level, an emotional level, at a spiritual level, so that when new cells are born, they're born devoid of that old consciousness as new regenerative cells. And if I had to say, what is the journey really in a nutshell? The best way I could describe it is to say that we, all of us, come into this world as this radiant, shining diamond, as this vast field of love, where we feel ourselves to be part of and in everything, as an enlightened awareness that's pervading all of existence. As a matter of fact, science has found that when you are born and in the first weeks of your life, the infant feels itself to be this vast field of oneness, of connectedness with everything. As a matter of fact, when mother's hand comes before an infant's eyes, the infant actually feels mother's hand as being part of itself. And unfortunately, through the course of life's pains and trials, this vast field of awareness, of love, of feeling one with everything, this vast field of peace, it gets covered over with a series of shutdowns and pains and traumas and stress, limitations. And when we get to be adults, we cover the whole mess over with this polished mask that we present to the world, where we're saying to the world, no, I'm an adult, I've got it all handled. And then we wonder why it is. Everyone thinks we're so full of, well, you can answer that. And then if you get to be very lucky, life gives you a wake-up call. Now, it can come in the form of a serious illness. It can come in the form of a crisis, a loss of a loved one. It can come in the form of a divorce, war that's going on, where for a moment you decide it's time to get real. And you crack through this mask that you've been presenting to the world. And spontaneously, you end up opening down through the layers of the pain, the lies, the shutdowns, the hurt, the traumas. And spontaneously, you end up opening into this vast field of love, of oneness. This field of awareness where you feel yourself to be part of everything, all of life. And you realize it's been there all along. Only like me, you lost sight of it and you bought into all the layers that covered it. I can remember when it can be something very simple, like what happened to me when I was 3 or 4 years old and I was crying about something. And my mother said to me, come on, we've got to dry your tears. We've got to get to nursery school. And suddenly, as a young kid, you get it. You're not allowed to feel, at least not those feelings that have the tears. And the first involuntary, automatic shutdown happens. I can remember when I was around 8 years old, I grew up in a very domestically challenged household. And part of the way I used to escape was into my children's books. And I used to love reading. And I became a good reader and a good speller. And I got chosen for a very stupid contest that we have in the United States called the Spelling Bee. And this was a county-wide spelling bee where all the schools were coming together into this big auditorium, this stadium. And all the teachers, the parents, the students were all coming together from the entire county. And I was selected to represent the third graders from my school. And I can remember this so clearly. I was standing on stage and I'd already spelled 3 difficult words. And then they gave me one of the easiest words in the English language, the word fleet. But I'd not seen that word in any of my children's books. But I had seen the word flea, an insect. And I said, F-L-E-A-T? And the whole stadium was hushed. And then it just erupted into laughter. Now, no one had given me a manual. How do you deal with that kind of mass humiliation in front of your peers, your parents, students, teachers? And I looked at my mom, who was sitting in the third row, for her support. And she looked at me as if I was the greatest disappointment in her life and just shook her head and went like this. And it was like this internal wall just came slamming down inside of me. And I retreated to the back of the stage where the other losers were. And that day I decided, I'm so stupid. Everyone will only ever laugh at me. I'll never be good at anything I do. I'll never be competent in anything or achieve anything. I'm just too stupid. And it's like this, layer upon layer of shutdowns. I can remember at 16, I got my first crush on a boy, and I tried to impress him. And you know how that is when you try to impress someone. And I ended up making a total fool of myself. And I watched the first love of my life running out of my life. And that day I decided, I'm so unattractive. I'm so unlovable. I'll never attract someone to love me. I'm just not worthy of love. I'm just not attractive. And it's like this, layer upon layer upon layer. And then we get to be adults and we cover the whole mess over. And we present this polished veneer to the world. And then life gives us that wake-up call. And we end up cracking through this mask, this phony mask that we've been presenting to the world. And spontaneously, we open down through the layers of the lies, the limitations, the pain, the trauma, the shutdowns. And then when we end up opening into our soul, into this vast field of love that is our essence, that we came in as, we realize it's been there all along. Only we bought into all those layers that covered it. And then, if you get to be very lucky, you fall so in love with the truth inside yourself, with this light, this peace, that like me, you will do anything to clear whatever blocks you, whatever holds you back, whatever shuts you down on any level of being. So this radiant love that is your essence can live your life. And you'll be guided by this infinite intelligence, this part of you that makes your heart beat and your eyes shine and your hair grow on a journey inside your body to go to certain cellular locations, to uncover what's stored there, to release what's there, to understand what's taken place with you in your life, and ultimately to come to a place of forgiveness so that when new cells are born, they're born devoid of that old consciousness as new regenerative cells. And so even though I would love to take you through the whole of the journey tonight, it's not something that's possible because it's actually part of a 3-day immersive retreat called the Journey Intensive, where you really roll up your sleeves and you dive in and you go through the emotional journey and the physical journey and advanced skills, and you are really learning the tools from the inside out. But even though I cannot take you through all that teaching and that immersive retreat right now, I still would love to take you into a process, a closed-eyed process that I call the gentle welcome, where you can learn in almost baby steps how to go inside your body and befriend your emotions, to begin opening up and listening to what your body has to tell you, to really open with your body and get present with what the body has to say. So if you'd like to join me, you've got nothing to lose. Let's do a divine experiment here. Let's do this closed eye guided introspection. And so let's take a nice deep breath in, letting it out, and closing your eyes. And taking a deep breath in of openness and breathing that into the room. A deep breath in of the willingness to be open to whatever your body wants to reveal to you. Breathing that into the room. And trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in life. Trust that your soul wants you to heal. Breathing trust into the room. And letting your heart be as wide as the world. Wide enough to welcome all of the feelings that live inside of you. That's how vast this vast open sky of all acceptance is. And it's vast and spacious, free and endless in front of you. Boundlessly spacious and free behind. It's endlessly spacious and free to all sides of you. And it's just this vast, open field. Wow. And now turning your gaze inside the body. And you already know this, that your own body is full of all kinds of emotions. And you know our feelings, they're like little kids. Some of our feelings, they're loud and they're attention seeking. Others of our emotions, they're kind of shy and scared of us. And others of your feelings, you've rejected them so many times that, like a rejected child, they don't even come up anymore. They hide underneath lids and closed doors. And so putting out a heartfelt welcome to all the feelings that live here, and you might even say you're sorry that you weren't willing to feel, to be present, to be open to what's here. And then locating an area of your body right now that might feel like it's got a little tension or stress or holding or hiding going on, or perhaps contraction. Just find that area right now where there may be a little tension or contraction going on. Locate that area. And taking a deep breath in of acceptance, and now flooding that area with acceptance, letting it soften right now, and open that area. And if there were a feeling beginning to arise out of that area, I wonder what that feeling might be. It might be as quiet as a whisper. It might be strong. but just welcoming whatever's here and whatever's not here. If a little child came to you and said, I'm scared, I hurt, you take that child into your arms and say, it's okay. We all feel hurt sometimes. We all get scared sometimes. And just welcoming whatever's here, whatever's not here. And if this area could speak and you gave it a voice right now, and it had words, what would this part of your body say? And as you listen to those words, how do they make you feel emotionally? Just giving this part of your body a voice. How does it make you feel emotionally? Or perhaps a picture is showing up. If there is, step into it. How does it make you feel emotionally as you step into the picture, if there's a picture? Or maybe it feels like there's a lid over this area. And imagining that there is a lid right now. And the same way you would lift the lid off a can of peanuts, taking hold of this lid and lifting it off right now. What's hiding here? Just welcoming whatever's here, whatever's not here. And taking a deep breath in of acceptance. And flooding this area with acceptance. And now coming to neutral inside of yourself. And finding a different area of your body where there may be little tension or stress or holding or hiding or contraction going on. And breathing that into that area. Breathing acceptance into that area. Letting it soften and be tenderized and open. And if there were a feeling beginning to arise out of that area, I wonder what that feeling might be. Might be quiet, might be strong. Just allowing whatever feeling is here to come out. And if this feeling had words and could speak, what would it say right now? Give it a voice. And as you listen to those words, how do they make you feel emotionally? Just welcoming whatever's here and also whatever's not here. Or if a picture's showing up, step into the picture. How are you feeling in that picture? Or perhaps there is a lid. Take hold of that lid now and lift it off. What's hiding here? Just welcoming whatever's here, whatever's not here. Taking a deep breath in of acceptance and flooding that area with acceptance. And coming to neutral now. And then locating yet a third area where there may be a little tension or stress or holding or hiding, some sort of contraction going on. Locate that area and take a deep breath in of acceptance, flooding that area with acceptance, letting it soften and be marinated and tenderized, opened up. And if there were a feeling arising out of that area, what might it be? This area could speak, and you gave it a voice, and it had words. What would it say right now? How does it make you feel emotionally? Or if a picture's here, step into it. How are you feeling in the picture? Or perhaps some sort of door is here. Opening that door right now. What's hiding here? Just welcoming whatever's here, whatever's not here. Nothing to fix, just this welcoming, this listening, this being present to your own self. And taking a deep breath in of acceptance, flooding the body with acceptance. Coming to neutral. And if it feels appropriate, you might like to say to your body that you're going to start being present. You're going to start listening. You're going to start opening with the emotions that live here and wholly welcome them and be present to them. So if that feels appropriate, you might like to make that promise to your own self. Taking another nice deep breath in, letting it out. Another nice deep breath in. And sighing it out. And the awareness remains vast, spacious, infinite, and free in front of you. Boundlessly spacious behind. Infinite to all sides of you. Just resting, soaking, steeping in this as this vast field. And taking another nice deep breath in. And sighing it out. And another nice deep breath in. And sighing it out. And you can open your eyes now into this vast field of presence that is here. And even with your eyes open, let your awareness remain open, spacious, vast, and free in front of you. Even with your eyes open, let your presence be open and spacious behind, and infinitely free and endless to all sides of you. And just resting here with eyes open in this vast field of awareness, of love. Some of you, this was just a little divine experiment to begin this opening with your emotions, to begin opening with your body, to begin this process of starting to listen to the body. And some of you may have had a very subtle experiment. Others of you may have had quite strong emotions come up. And I'd love to hear what emotions came up for you. If you'd be willing to type them into the chat box, Gabby will read them back so that all of us can hear. And so for some of you, this was the first time you really made it okay for emotions to be here. And these emotions are actually the gateway to your own soul, to the love that is your essence, to the peace inside. And so if you had a strong emotion come up and you'd be willing to share what that was, if you'll write that into the chat box, and Gabby will begin sharing what
They're
you're
already
writing.
coming in, Brandon. It's loneliness, anger, helplessness, painful hopelessness, sadness, fury, not good enough, deadly fear and loneliness, deep sadness, fear, sadness, no voice, sadness again.
Wow. A lot of strong emotion coming for people.
Guilt, helplessness again. Yeah.
Yeah.
More fear.
Well, I feel if something strong came up.
Shame, vanity, frustration.
Wow. It's a lot of strong emotion here. And I feel like if your body is communicating, it's really communicating loudly right now. And it really is an invitation, not from me, but from your own soul, that it's time now to begin your journey with your body, with your soul. Really uncover what's stored inside your cells. And really not only uncover, but go through full-on journey process work to get to the emotional root cause of what's stored there and go through this deep process of healing so that when new cells are born, they're born devoid of that old consciousness as new regenerative cells. And with all my heart, I pray that you will heed this call home from yourself, and that somehow you'll find your way to a journey intensive. And they're happening online all around the world. And this November 19th through 19th, 20th, and 21st, we're having the 3-day immersion. And what takes place in there, it's an online event where I start by giving you the teachings, but then I take you into guided introspections and deep process work. And in the afternoon, you get partnered up with somebody and you go into a breakout room and you go through deep one-to-one process work. And what's amazing is you have the support, the embrace of our journey practitioners holding the embrace there. So if anything comes up, you're not sure what's going on, you raise your hand and there will become someone who's gone through the whole year-long training of Journey Practitioners program, and they will be there to support you through this deep and liberating work. And so on the first day, we're going through the emotional journey where we're going down through the layers and opening into our own souls. And the second days, we're going on the physical journey into specific cell memories and learning how to really go through that profoundly healing process. And on the third day, at the advanced skills workshop, we're learning all the advanced skills. So that my prayer is that not only do you have this huge wash clean where you feel healed and liberated and like you've finally come home to who you are, but that you have a set of tools that you can take now into your life and you can use it with your children, with your family members, with yourself and your friends and your loved ones. And you can help them take the lampshade off their lights and help them begin discovering the love inside, the peace that is here, the joy that is available. And so I pray that somehow you can make it there. And I know that Gabby can share with you more about that happening. But if you feel something strong came up for you, I really do believe it is your soul calling you home to begin your own healing journey. And so I'm passing you over to Gabby, and she can share with you about upcoming journey intensives here in Europe and Australia and also happening in January. And so until we do meet again, a heartfelt namaste to everyone.
A heartfelt namaste and thank you very much. And before I go into some of the details, quite a lot of people joined us during the program. And I just would love to repeat to you also that Brandon wasn't able to join us live today because she's in bed with a flu and a really, really bad cough. And so we used the recent recording that was on the same theme that we could use for today. And so I'm here in real time. But sadly, Brandon started her world tour. And I think it's probably something to do with not traveling so regularly and so often anymore. And so she ended up with a bad cough and a really bad flu. So thank you very much. I hope that this was a really good first taste of uncovering some of the emotions. Now, this meditation that you did with Brandon, it kind of took us somewhere. These are kind of emotions that have been there for probably a very long time, you know, and even though I read out emotions from another time, but on today's emotions, we had, you know, pointlessness, we had fear, anger, sadness, loneliness. Somebody uncovered the inner child and couldn't stop crying. The biggest, how to easily say this, the emotions are the gateway to our soul. If we just allow the emotions to come and stay present and open, and underneath it will be another one, and beneath it will be another one. But you know what? After a few layers, it may just get kind of gray or don't know-ish. And yet, in the very heart of this, the essence, the truth of who you are, this peace that passes understanding, the kingdom that dwells within, the silence, the love that we are, is actually in the very heart of it. And we get taught all of our life to avoid emotions, to distract ourselves because they are painful, because they are harmful. And yet it's the biggest gift we have. And that is something that I uncovered for myself on the very first day of the Journey Intensive. I didn't know. And it was a mega wake-up call. And I have never looked back. And we all have an accumulation of things that we have gathered through our life. Some of it is our parents' stuff. We were born with it, even our grandparents, or somebody here mentioned she had a feeling it was past life, anything and everything. And so we have accumulated these layers. And if through some grace we can crack through that, and at the Journey Intensive, the opportunity exists for you to do that, to crack through, to learn a process that stays with you, and a community where you can continue these processes and really become light and free from any of those old issues. You know, I was reading through some of the challenges and, you know, blocked emotions. Somebody's been dealing with cancer for 9 years, and she's aware that these are old blocked emotions. Please, it's time to let it go. All the natural treatment, if we can uncover the root cause and clear that out, then the opportunity for healing is so much greater. You know, anxiety, OCD was mentioned. You know, these are all kind of fear-based pictures that show up. The symptoms that show up is the anxiety on the surface, the OCD, but underneath are just very, very pure emotions that we can meet. And as Brandon said, you know, there are journey practitioners who would have trained with Brandon for a full year, and they are there voluntarily to support us, to support you during these weekends. And it's my prayer that as many people as possible can come and join and take this work into their life. We're living in very, very tumultuous and challenging times. There is always something at the moment. You know, there are wars, there are natural catastrophes, there are just so many things happening in so many parts of the world. And it seems like we just don't know. And then the fears are coming up. And there is a way where we can learn. And I've also wrote to you about this holiday festive season, how we can kind of enter this in a more peaceful state. And when you catch yourself in the busyness of every day, it's like, got to do this, got to do this. It means our mind is already on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ahead of you. Find the way to bring yourself back to your breath. You know, just take 5 minutes to come back. I don't want to give it a name of meditation, but just sit and watch your breath and just come back here. And if an emotion shows up, just like it did in this meditation with Brandon, where in the body is it? And open with it. And then there you will find a deeper peace if you just stay present to it. It is always there in the very heart of these emotions. That is what's there. And most of the time we're just being triggered. We're triggered by a person, a parent, a child, a circumstance, and that trigger is playing itself out. And that's all it is. And we give it so much attention. We're scared of it. And yet, just take a moment. Take a few moments a day, in the morning, in the evening, and just come here. We will be sending out this recording after tonight, and you can undergo this meditation with Brandon again. You know, do it 2 or 3 times and then become a little bit familiar. But know that if a nervousness shows up, if fear shows up, if sadness shows up, if disappointment shows up because somebody said they were coming to visit and then they don't, and it's like you feel betrayed, you feel left alone. These are just triggers. These are triggers from probably childhood, a long time ago. And just sit and be with that emotion and allow it. I just so wish we could have learned that when we were children, because it is bringing us home every time. And that's the beauty. And so my wish for you is that this holiday, this festive season, that you find a way to just get still and find the courage to open into some of the emotions we may have avoided for such a long time. I also wanted to say that Brandon, and God bless and thank you very, very much for all your well wishes, that we have planned a very, very special session on Sunday, the 7th of January, where we're looking into how we bring into New Year. And so she's doing a special beginning of the year, letting go of the old and bringing in the new, you will get a separate invitation for that. Please come and join us for that. And our next events, we have one coming up in North America in a midweek event already early in January. Then we have February, we have the next European event on the, when is it, 9th to the 11th of the 10th to the 12th of February. And then in Australasia, the 23rd to the 25th. Now, these are 3-day events. 2-day are compulsory, so you have to be there for Saturday, Sunday. The 3rd day is a bonus day. Usually about 90% of the people stay because it's yet another day where we learn some additional tools. And you have the support from our journey practitioners. So it's a very, very fully comprehensive event that will equip you with tools that allow you much better to approach some of these emotions, some of the situations and circumstances in life. Our prayer is that everyone has it. And as you can see, our pricing is a fraction of what it used to be. We simply just want to be able for people to have these tools. So for the European price, 247 euros, it's affordable. It's very, very affordable for what you get. Sometimes I think people may not appreciate the value of what's on offer at this very event. But anyway, all of this happens in the new year. What's left right now is to wish you, if you are celebrating Christmas, if you are celebrating the festive season, then I wish you a wonderful, happy, peaceful, and joyous time with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends, with your children, and just know what a great gift it is to just have love in your life. And sometimes it feels distant, or sometimes we can't access it. Just know it's there. And if we find the courage to penetrate those emotions that we so often avoid in life, the love is right here. And so that's our invitation to you. I hope you can join us to one of the Journey Intensives in the new year and have beautiful, beautiful holidays and the best wishes for a new year. May it be the best year ever. With lots of love, a heartfelt namaste, and see you in the new year. Thank you.
My biggest win with the journey was being able to access my deepest emotions and free myself from them. I feel more calm and serene.
I found my true calling, and now today I can help others. I love to make an impact. I love to see transformation in others' lives.
For years and years, I used to feel very lonely, and now I just feel a part of everything. I feel I'm alive.
My biggest win with joining the practitioner program is owning my own life back and stepping out of a severe PTSD.
The acceptance of myself and the self-love, so I don't need others to love me. That's perfectly okay.
Life is different now because of joining the journey, because I just live in so much abundance. You know, I get up every day with a joy for living. I want to go to work. I want to meet other people.
My biggest win was the really deep knowing I actually do have the answers. They are within me.
There is a lot more certainty and openness into where I'm heading and how I'm feeling about things.
I feel more connected to life. It's not an easy path for anyone to do healing work, but it's profound.
1, I'm more balanced. 2, I'm more grateful for those persons who helped me in this life. I enrich my life every day with this wisdom.
It's priceless. There's no better, bigger investment we can do in time, money, or energy.
I was a mess before I started with this work, and I healed from lots of different types of abuse, and that's a miracle.
My life now, because of the journey, is transformed. I have confidence. Even if I struggle. It's just I have to let go. It's step after step, and it's no danger at the end.
My biggest win is myself. It doesn't have to be anything else. You can be fulfilled even if you only have yourself.
It's more peaceful. I've learned to process emotions. I learned to be more self-aware, and I've learned when you need to ask for help.
I've been able to have a really deep, long, soulful look at myself, and I've been able to uncover, recover, and heal long-term wounds.
My biggest win being a journey practitioner has been becoming a therapist and a healer, because that's what I never ever imagined it to be.
I'm living from a place of freedom and choice. I'm really conscious in every moment. Any sentence I say, it's coming from the just pure goodness.
I feel more authentic, wearing much less of a mask. It's about being you and feeling good about it.
I can embrace all that is. I'm here to share my life, my joy. Now I can just be me.
My own journey of healing from cancer is an inspiration for others. I get to work with amazing people, see amazing transformations in their life.
My biggest win is to be yourself. Just be there for other people, to help other people heal, and just to be there.
I know that no matter what comes, I have the right instrument to deal with whatever emotions every situation will bring to me.
It really has helped me come back to a place of wholeness. I feel like completely authentic. I feel genuine. I feel like I'm in my body.
My big win is my courage and my physical healing, my emotional healing. But in one word, I could say freedom.
The journey is all about releasing all of the emotions that create the illness. I was healed physically within 6 weeks, while I had been in pain over 3.5 years.
And I just want to say very, very briefly, congratulations, Monique Riedel. You were the one who won the free place at the Journey Intensive. Apologies that I didn't mention it sooner, and you may have seen it in the chat box. But congratulations, and I hope we see you at one of the events coming up in the new year. Thank you, everybody. Namaste. Happy holidays. See you in the new year, and all the best for the new year. Thank you. Bye-bye.